Why, hello again, everybody. Dracky the Little Dragon here with a top hat. Yes, top hat. I love hats. But anyways, I'm here to talk about anything and everything, whether I want to talk about it or not, because if I don't talk about it, then who will? And yes, my arm is shaky. I think the medication wore off. Actually had a comment I just checked on one of my videos. I think it was one of my update videos. And he the person pretty much says I wasn't expecting a part of the I'm not going to say the whole comment. He says in his comment, I wasn't expecting a Met survivor. Well, I'm not a Met survivor. I have Parkinson's disease. I have made two or at least two videos dedicated to just the Parkinson's, and I've mentioned it throughout multiple videos. I've got probably close to over 60 vlogs now and just as many gaming videos, and I talk about my Parkinson's disease all the time. But anyways,
Welcome.
welcome indeed. So we are going to do some demon laughing here. Because we are talking about wizards and their towers today. What is up with wizards and their towers? You see wizards and towers through multiple shows and lore and books and movies and everything else in between. It's like, what the hell is up with their towers? For instance, I was watching some of the old Discworld movies. Oh, not too long ago, about a couple weeks ago, and in the live action Discworlds, and in those old movies, they got the Wizards Academy, and it is just a tall, ridiculously tall tower that's kind of wibbly wobbly all over the place, and it's just kind of woof 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 woof. What's and then in the Disney movie, The Sword and the Stone, Merlin's tower is all kinds of wavy, wavy, kind of goes in all different directions. It's like, what the hell? Why do they build their towers like that? Why? Why build a tower at all? What is the point of a wizard in a tower? I don't really get that. But anyways,
That's an odd thing to say.
yeah, that's a very odd thing to say. I'm gonna pull up Firefox here. Actually, I probably should have already had this up. I usually do I've been doing a search lately to kind of outline some of the finer video ideas, so I'm not kind of going roundabouts and circles. Okay, the AI overview pretty much says wizard towers are an iconic staple of fantasy adventures narratively. Eh. Such towers and their wizards often fulfill one of two purposes. They herald the call to adventure from a wizard mentor or signal the end, a capstone battle symbolizing the perils of power. Okay, so I guess I can kind of get that. A tower being kind of like a symbol of power. The higher it is, the more powerful you are, and the more magic that the wizard has to keep it together. And uh, Bel- what's that book? Belgarath, the Sorcerer. Oh God, I read that so long ago, and I read it so many times. That it was it was a dilapidated book I had, but I found it when I was a kid in New Mexico, and I kept it for years and years and years. But it talked about towers, and the whole book series was pretty much about the the way of the word and wizards and epic adventures, and it was just an awesome read. But let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, David Eddings and Lee Eddings, Belgarath, the Belgarath uh, or Belgariad book series. If you haven't read it, it's actually very good. I actually read it multiple times. I actually read it on my BlackBerry when I had a BlackBerry back in 2011. But yeah, I'm kind of getting off topic here. Eh, Okay, this site's a little funky. Probably cut this out. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut this out. So yeah, you find yourself in a wizard tower. The first layer, the expectation you have might be it's tall, round, usually stone, sometimes crooked, rustic, quirky, dark, ominous, depending on if it's a good or bad wizard. Uh, the tower should reflect the personality of the wizard, set the stage for what the wizard represents. This usually means a sense of mystery, aloofness, and the threshold of the extraordinary. To accomplish this, you may play with the architecture, or the wizard may form the architecture, the form of the tower to hint at the mind behind it. Consider the following suggestions that imply about the wizard you'd find there. Maybe it's a tower of magical glass where the illusory phantasms play across the surface. In the depths of the wood carved and shaped into a great tree. A squat round building that nonetheless towers above the landscape, moving about on spindly magic legs, or allows the wizard's heritage or environment to inform the tower's shape, which might reside in, say, a ziggurat, a lighthouse, pyramid, belfry, or even a guard tower. Second layer of what you might find in a wizard's tower, which would house odd objects, strange creatures, great place for arcane experiments gone wrong, enchanted and questionable provenance. Yeah, and you might find shambling minions. A necromancer has ghosts bound to historical relics to provide research context. A perfect magical artifact reference for wizards would be Harry Dresden's skull Bob. Now, I know Harry Dresden doesn't reside in a tower per se, but he did reside in a castle towards the end of the series and on an island that had a lighthouse, a ruined lighthouse, but that's neither here nor there. A callous wizard specializing in enchantment might have a population of charmed guests. A retired battle mage has a tower resembling an armory, more than a learned sanctum lined with masterwork weapons and armor of various enchantments and magical abilities. Or you might find glamorous illusions the wizard uses to populate the tower, but they may look real, but are totally harmless. Or are they? I'll leave that for you to decide. Leave in the comments below. The curious fey creatures they attract are not. A local wizard got tired of being called out to defend the village against every bandit, goblin, dragon, troll, invasion, encroachment. There is, which are, as such, there are a surprising number of enchanted sickles, pitchforks, garden hose, and protective aprons stockpiled in his tower. Yeah, he locked himself away and went to magical gardening. Who knew? You may find traps and riddles in a wizard's tower. Some are aggravating to answer, and a multitude sometimes provides explosive magical traps. Excuse me. Okay. Riddles are more like hints for passwords requiring some investigation to figure out. For example, what's the name of my familiar? But Valis. Okay, so some riddles may ask you what the name of something is, and they may put in a requirement, say, what's the name of my such and such backwards, or Valis, or in a different what, or in a different language such as Elvish, Draconic, Demonic, Troll, Orc, Trollish, but all the above. Mostly harmless traps, including the multi-purpose guards and wards, are specialized kinds of symbols. Sleep at every threshold that allow the wizard to deal with intruders who triggered the sleep traps at their own leisure. While decoy spell books covered in illusionary script encourage would-be spell thieves to grab and go. Yeah, say you were raiding a wizard tower and you grabbed a bunch of spell books and come to find out that they were fake. Yeah, that's a whip in the ass for you. I would be rather mad if I raided a wizard tower and came away with fake spell books. Oh, man. A wizard more concerned with amusement than security may set up a series of riddles revolving around puns and wordplay. Sounds like something I would do if I were a wizard or a witch, but that's neither here nor there. Actually, witches in monster lore, D&D lore, fantasy lore, most often than not resides in a hut, but that's neither here nor there. To invert, give a tower may be inverted to say excellent navigation or confusing navigation, in whichever way a wizard may set it up, which may include written instructions, helpful signs, that prevent guests from opening the door to one of the less unfiendish places instead of the linen cupboard, or may otherwise trick you to opening the linen cupboard, which actually turns out to be full of imps. Yeah, but anyways, a wizard may skip the elaborate traps entirely for a wizard who doesn't have time for all of that. Instead, they have the whole place on lockdown through paranoid overuse of arcane lock and sensible secure methods of value storing high value items. So, in lieu of everything else, a paranoid wizard in their tower may lock down the place tighter than Fort Knox with locking spells, enchanted bars, invisible walls, the works. Then you get the grumpy wizard, robe, beard, pointy hat, bad attitude. Even if he's on your own side, this has been seen throughout many fantasy lore, including lots of Merlins. Lots of different Merlins tend to be grumpy, even if they're on your side. Um, Gandalf, for instance, was entirely grumpy, and especially where Gandalf and the party and Frodo and Merry and Pippin bug Gandalf is like, how, how, how do we open the door? And Gandalf pretty much responds uh, um, with, oh God, I can't remember now. I've seen the movie thousands of times and I can't remember. But yeah, he pretty much tells Pippin off, and if he can't figure out the correct spell, he'll bang Pippin's head against the door, and if that doesn't open it, then he doesn't know what will. Uh, the wizard's not a villain, but she or he went to a lot of trouble for this important, powerful relic the party needs for the quest, and she's not so sure they can protect it. Even if they get through a few minor hazards of her tower, then she's probably right. Oh, if they can get through the few minor hazards, traps, spells, invisible walls, the works, she might be right that the artifact can't indeed be protected. And she's rather grumpy because of that. Oh, yeah, I was just talking about this. I actually kind of skipped a little bit. They can't and shouldn't all be a Merlin or a Morgan Le Fay. Uh, take apart the usual expectations, including good versus evil, and whether they're actually grumpy. With each decision iteration of a wizard, it, it's up to you to either create a wizard or whatnot. But if you're creating a wizard, then yeah, I'm just kind of finding examples in this article and kind of posing them out to you. What is up with wizards in their bloody towers? A wizard has nefarious goals, but needs the party to accomplish them, like Jafar did for Aladdin, which is the reason the group's adventure career begins and might be the final villain at the end as well. You never know with wizards. They can be tricky. They can look to be entirely good, but flip flop the 180 at the end and backstab you and pretty much cast either party down to oblivion or close to oblivion. And yeah. Anyways, we all know what wizards do at the end, give or take. A wizard's not grumpy, they're tired. Being middle aged, Auntie plagued with unexpected familial visits. Her tower is filled with disorienting and discouraging traps aimed at gently taking guests back outside. A wizard is grumpy because of a young magical prodigy who has had it with less talented people. If someone can't pass his difficult riddles, he doesn't want to talk to them. And maybe there isn't a wizard at all, but a druid containing herbology experiments run amok. Regardless of actual lineage, class, narrative role of the wizard is a being of power who is supposed to be wiser. The tower represents the threshold. The ordinary world is left at the door. There you go. That's what's up with wizards and their towers. Now, who came up with the concept that a wizard had to have a tower? We may never know. So it's like the candy commercial, the Tootsie Pop. How many licks to get to the center of Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. Crunch. Anyways, I'm actually running a little overtime because some of this video will actually be cut out, so there's not so many long pauses. But for you skate dragons and reptiles out there, stay scaly. For you furries out there, stay fluffy or fierce if you prefer. And for you humans out there, stay smooth and beautiful. This is, if I can find the right button.
Farewell.
Yes, farewell, farewell, farewell. Well, indeed, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day and rest of your week, month, year. I hope to see you come back next time. I look forward to your comments. This is Dracky the Little Dragon signing out for now.